Hello and welcome back to part 2 of alternate ways to add and subtract with mixed numbers. And like I said, please be hitting pause and studying this and see if it makes sense to you. And remember that uh, as far as how you do this, I don't care if you do it my way, this way, or if you use the other way I taught you from the previous videos. The main thing is that you can do it correctly. Sometimes it's easier and sometimes it's not. And you're going to see both of those here in this video, I think. Let's go on to number 3 now. And again, old-fashioned way would be 6 times 5 plus 4, and then you subtract them after you do that. Same thing to this. The new way would be to try this. Now, things change a little bit with subtraction. Okay, watch what happens here. I'm going to go ahead and split up this. I have 6 and 4 plus 4/5. Okay, and what I'm looking for here, I'm looking at this 4, and I'm asking myself whether or not that number is large enough to take away this number here. And it looks like it is, because 4 take away 3, because you're going to be taking that fraction away. 4 take away 3 would give me 1. So I'm okay to do this. Now watch how it expands. Okay, I bring this down, -1, but that 3/5, since that's part of the -1 and 3/5, that is being subtracted as well. So that's really how I'm expanding it. Okay, so now I'm going to rearrange, but when I rearrange, since the -1 is being the subtracted part, that has to be -1 plus 4/5 minus 3/5. So you have to be careful to make sure you keep your signs in order. Now I'll be honest here, I'm okay if you looked at that and you knew 6 minus 1 was 5 up here at the top and 4 minus 1 is or 4 minus 3 is 1, it's really that easy on this particular question. That's 5 plus, here I'm just expanding it for you, 4 minus 3 is 1, 5 and 1/5, and then you have 5 and 1/5 as your answer. Now that's an example of a problem where that method is pretty simple. Not such the case on number 4. So watch carefully what happens here, and for the sake of the notes, follow along, but you'll need to consider which method you prefer to use. Like I said, I don't care. I would probably do this particular question the other way, but I'll go ahead and show you what's going on here. When I look at this 1 right here, I notice if I go 1 take away 3, I can't really do that. Now you might be saying, well, wouldn't you have a negative number? Well, you would, but the problem is, since that's a fractional part of that 8, it just gets really messy if I try to do it that way. So what I have to do here is I have to figure out how can I make this 1 larger than this 3. And this is how it works. Okay, what I'm going to do with the 8, now listen carefully here. I'm going to take the 8 and make it 7 plus 1. 7 plus 1 is 8. Agreed? That's the same thing. Plus we have this 1/4. Now over here we have -2 and -3/4. Okay, now I don't want to rearrange just yet, because here's what's going to happen. I'm going to just keep the 7 here. I want to think of this 1 as 4 over 4. And you're probably going, why in the world did you do that? Well, here's why. I did 4 over 4 because this number right here is a 4. That denominator. Since that denominator is a 4, now that 1/4 is still there too, right? That's still 1/4. Again, notice the advantage of working down the page. I can see where everything is coming from. I'm not going to do anything with the 2 and the -2 and the -3/4 here. Now what I'm going to do is this. 7 is still there, plus I'm going to go ahead and add this and watch what happens. 4/4, because 4/4 is 1, and that 1 was from the 8 because I made it 7 plus 1. 4/4 and 1/4 is 5/4. So I added those two together for that. I still got -2, and I've still got -3/4. Now I'm going to rearrange. Now be very careful to keep your signs. It's -2. I want to put the whole numbers together. It's plus, so what I did is I moved the 2 over there. I move this over here. I commute those two. Again, the commutative property. I have plus 5/4, and then I have -3/4. Okay, now you have 7 minus 2, 5. And you have 5 minus 3 is 2. and you have 5 2/4, which equals 5 1/2. You have to reduce that. Now, you have to be able to do it one of the two ways, either this way or where you change it to improper. I'm not going to make a big deal out of which way you do it on a particular question, but I will tell you, it pays to know, like on number 3, it's a heck of a lot easier to do this trick. And on number 4, it's probably easier to do it the other way for you, because that little place where you have to change it here, really it happens in these two lines. That's a little bit tricky, and you got to be really careful with your numbers as you work that out. Let's look at one more difficult one, just so you can see the problem, just reinforcing what I just taught you here. 7 1/9 minus 3 5/9. All right. Well, again, here's what I did. I take a look at this 1 and I ask myself, if I have 1, can I take away the 5? The answer is no, you can't. And again, we don't want negative numbers, it's just the fractional part. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to change the 7 into 6 plus 1, because 6 plus 1 is 7. Now I've still got the 1/9, and now you've got minus 3 and minus 5/9. Okay, now I have 6. 1 is 9/9. Now why did I make it 9s? Because of this. That's a 9 right there. It has to match, because we have to make that denominator the same. The denominator has to be the same or you can't add them together. Now you've got minus 3 and you've got minus 5/9. Okay, so here's what you have. 6 is still 6 plus this becomes 10/9 minus 3 minus 5/9. Now we're going to rearrange. I've got 10 here, and I can take away 5. So now I can rearrange it. 6 minus 3 plus 10/9 minus 5/9. And that's what you end up with. 6 minus 3 is 3. 10 minus 5 is 5/9. And voila, you've got it. So easy enough for you, I hope. And we shall see if that makes sense for you tomorrow. Okay, take a minute, study that, and we'll see you in class.